There's the hippies. There's the 60s and 70s LSD, mushroom, psychedelic, futuristic, science fiction fan club. And the fan club slams and shuts a box. And inside the box, there's an animal. People used to call a human. And now they rent us, the animals, apartments in San Francisco right down the street from their mansions. And they hand out marijuana and drugs and alcohol and booze with cigarettes to keep all of the angry and emotionally distraught from putting two hands in the air, swallowing a cyanide pill and saying, "Ooh la la, you're gonna love Bangkok. You're gonna love Vietnam. You're gonna visit Beijing. And they're gonna say, you killed that racist inequality. You really destroyed the equational problems with quantum mechanics. And don't have to sweat. Don't have to leave a room. And the cyanide they say now keeps the women from murdering. The United States of America has always had different parts of a system called government with processes such as voting. And how this revolution started in the 60s and 70s by all of these gray-haired and worn-out civil rights activists and leaders and politicians and community dictators had to do with marijuana. They figured, well, they're not going to let us have acid in the grocery store. Those kids are just going to get too paranoid. Someone's going to come over and touch them in front of their parents. And then their two dads instead of their mom in the afternoon. They'll make those braces fit just okay. The United States of America took a simple legalization, alcohol. And didn't choose to restrict behavior until those tent-loving, sunshine-driving minibuses, they figured out how to have Sharia law and tribalism. They mathematically started a limited, restricted, rewarded, and very stimulation-friendly social, behavioral, psychological, and psychiatric practice in society and civilization. Folks, go get their reward from their drug dealer, that crack-selling meth head cartel salesperson who goes to the pier and gets some fentanyl to go get that needle from that Islam man in his vehicle filled with some heroin. And instead of the technology involved with what the Chinese have done in the communist they call brain political system, where each person fits into a whole consciousness similar to cellular biology and chemistry, in small amounts of food. California must have been too far away for the Chinese to go from Seattle and the state of Washington and the University of Washington, where Bruce Lee would do kung fu and jiu-jitsu and jeet kune do, for all the tourists taking pictures of the library, preparing their takeover of the dictionary. And Microsoft and Bill Gates must have known from all the autism research they did in their cages with their shock treatments, the lack of nuclear materials available that far south. And decided instead to do a more primitive, indigenous form of mass democracy now. The hardest part about living on Earth now has to do with walking next to kids. Go past them, look away, and avoid eye contact. Avoid recognition of a body in front of their ears and their faces and their eyebrows. China electronically decided the world, the planet, the earth were better and more beautiful with no police, no cops, no law enforcement, and no prisons to lock up those bad guys and those scary ladies. And instead chose the nod of the skull, the laugh, the last sound I ever want to hear now.